All right, what is up, Utes fans? This is Joseph back with the Utah Utes Football Digest. Kind of the first time I am showing you myself to you guys. So nice to meet all you guys. Again, Joseph with the Utah Utes Football Digest. I know nobody's in here yet. Looks like somebody just jumped in. Good to see. Welcome to the stream here. So tonight, obviously, I'm not sure how many people we're going to have on. Hopefully, lots of you guys come on, and I hope it's a really fun time. Like I said, I'm sure you guys noticed I'm a Jets fan. This is my office. We just moved into the house about a month ago, but still getting everything unpacked. You guys can obviously tell I'm a Jets fan. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the Utes. We're going to talk about, Utes that are going to be going pro. So it should be really fun. With that, I'm just going to go ahead and start doing it. Start talking about the Utes and breaking down the video for you. Worst case, if we don't get a lot of people in the stream, we'll just kind of use this as a video that I'll just leave up after the fact with some information about the different Utes going pro. This will probably be a little better. Not as much focused on the background. All right, there we go. All right, cool. All right, so with that, guys, let's go ahead and look at some of the Utes that are going to be going pro. So the first guy I want to talk about is Devin Lloyd. So Devin Lloyd has been a huge contributor for the team since day one. One of the best players in all of college football. Pro Football Focus has him as the number 11 player in all of college football. Which means I think he should go off the board around 11. Linebackers don't have the greatest positional value in the world, right? They could be a little higher. But overall, Devin Lloyd's one of the best players in college football. And I remember for a little while there, it seemed like a lot of people were talking about Nakobe Dean as the best player in all of college football. But it seems like nowadays that everyone's in agreement that it is Devin Lloyd, that he's the main guy. I think we're going to see Devin Lloyd go really early. I'm going to pull some of the PFF grades, and first guy we're going to look at is Devin Lloyd, obviously. Devin Lloyd has been a monster for the Utes. Let's check him out here. Devin Lloyd. I think if you're a Utes fan, you've known about Devin Lloyd and his ability to, really make an impact on a game. Let's take a look here. Player grades. All right, it's loading up the player grades. Give me a second here. And if you guys are in the chat, welcome in. Feel free to ask any questions. I'd like to, keep it generally around the Utah Utes that are going pro, but any questions, feel free to ask. All right, man. All right, Devin Lloyd. Okay, so Devin Lloyd, like I said, we all know he's been one of the best players in all of college football. Honestly, and this is kind of going to preface a little series that I'm going to plan on doing pretty soon after this. Breaking down the Utes going pro, doing a little deep dive on each individual Ute, kind of like a player prospect video talking about them. So Devin Lloyd, super good player, 6'3", 235 pounds, a little slender to play middle linebacker in the NFL. But modern day linebackers, it's all about being a huge monster. Devin Lloyd, 90.2 defensive grade. Rush defense grade, 82, so very good there. Pass rush grade, 88.4. That's elite status. And then we have a coverage grade of 81.8. So just Devin Lloyd is obviously, like I said, one of the best players in all of college football. He's a no-brainer. He's going to be a first-round pick easily. I said it during the season that he would be a first pick easily. But I think as we get closer, we could see him even creep up more. And he is a really good athlete. So after the combine, he was supposed to go to the Senior Bowl, But from what I'm seeing right now, that is not looking like the case. He got removed from the roster, so I don't think we'll see him go to the Senior Bowl. But still, I'm sure he's going to hit the combine, hit it hard, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him go up a decent amount of draft boards. I think we're going to get him in the top 10, top 8 conversation when we're talking about the NFL draft. And then the next guy, let's take a look here. So first guy we talked about was Devin Lloyd. Oh, you know what? Why not talk about Britton Covey? I know a lot of us like talking about Britton Covey. Let's take a look at the guy. So Britton Covey has been with the Utes since 2015. He's got to be one of the record holders of being with one college team for the longest. Pretty impressive there. So Britton Covey here. Let's check out his grades. I'm pulling him up now. So Britton Covey is going to be drafted probably primarily as a returner. I'm sure the majority of Utes fans aren't going to love where Britton Covey gets drafted. I was a pro football fan way before I was a college football fan. So I kind of know pretty in depth how the draft works, how important what a player can provide, what their ceiling is, more than I think a lot of college fans might, but not to downgrade anyone. I'm just saying. So, like, looking at Britton Covey, he is limited in his frame. He's 5'8", 170 pounds. But I think a lot of teams are going to see what we saw this year in Britton Covey, is that he is a huge playmaker, right? Just so you guys, looks like we got some more people filtering in here. So we're talking about Britton Covey right now. One of the biggest playmakers on the team. The kid is a monster in the return game. He catches punts, he catches kick returns, and we all saw in really clutch moments how he was able to really make plays. So really impressive guy. He also has some receiving ability. Looking at his PFF grade, it's a 79.2, 74.4 run grade, 78.6 receiving grade, 58.1 run blocking grade. So actually a very good receiving grade, a solid running grade, and a pretty garbage run blocking grade. But he is pretty tiny. I mean, what do you expect him to do in the run blocking? Laura Doomsub, go Utes. Yep, go Utes. Good. Thanks for joining in. Awesome. And so Britton Covey, he's going to be a beast. Realistically, guys, there's a chance Britton goes undrafted, though. I think he's going to be one of those guys that could be overlooked throughout this whole draft process, which sucks, right? He's a great guy, and we all like him a lot. But he could get overlooked in this draft process. I think realistically, if I'm going to take a guess, I'm going to guess that even though not every team is going to be super high on Britton Covey, I think we're going to see a lot of teams that, or at least like a handful of teams that see the specialness in Britton Covey. I think he's going to go as high as the 5th round, but most likely I think I could see him going somewhere in the 6th round. He's a slot weapon. He has a good receiving grade, not amazing, but a very solid receiving grade. And he does have a good ceiling. I see him, obviously it's generic. He's a little white receiver, but a Julian Edelman, that type of guy. It's a smaller guy, not the fastest in the world, but still fast, very athletic, very twitchy. He does have a ceiling. I see teams seeing the value in Britton Covey. And those of you guys that are in the chat, welcome in. Really glad to have you guys. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the video. Planning on doing more of these. I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you have any questions about any of the Utes Pro players, I'm going to break down each one that's going into the draft this year. But if you have any questions about some specific ones, feel free to drop them in the chat. I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. All right, so the next guy I want to talk about is Nick Ford. Talk about a guy that I have not been the greatest fan of, right? If you guys have been watching my channel all year, you guys probably know I have not exactly fallen in love with Nick Ford. Obviously, he stepped up at certain times of the season, and he had his ups and downs, but the first half or so of the season was rough for Ford. Obviously, as a Utes fan, I want to see every Ute get drafted as high as possible. Let's go ahead and pull up Nick Ford's PFF grade. So All right, Nick Ford. So he is the number 50 center. Oh, and just so you guys know, Britton Covey was graded as the number 76 receiver in college football. So Nick Ford is the number 50 center in all of college football. So right there in the middle, he's a 71.9 offensive grade, 73.3 run blocking, which is pretty good. And then a 64.6 pass blocking. So that's, kind of familiar with all the Utes offensive line. They weren't the greatest pass blockers in the world this past year, but very good run blockers. So I wouldn't be surprised if a team takes a shot on Nick Ford. Like I told you guys, maybe I'm a little lower on Nick Ford. Maybe I'm a little biased because I saw the low part of the year and I was, very not enjoying that. I was very critical of Nick Ford. There was other players I was critical of that bounced back too. Nick Ford was very rough at the beginning and then slowly started to come back and look better at the end of the year. David Glover just commented, "Go Utes, hoping to run the table and defend the championship." Me too, man. I'm excited, and I hope we can run the table and get that championship again. Hopefully, we can make a return to the Rose Bowl. It's going to be a little tougher. We aren't as actually, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we have so many freshmen and sophomores that are growing up a little, and that if they can take any sort of step in the right direction, we could be an even better team. Honestly, you consider Cam Rising's coming back, Tavion Thomas is coming back. I mean, this could be a very solid team still next year. And as much as we are losing a few of our starters on the offensive line, we're still bringing back Braden Daniels, who is by far our best offensive lineman on the entire team. Not even a question, right? But anyways, back to Nick Ford. I'm going to be straight with you guys. I see Nick Ford as a very late day 3 pick, or I see him as an undrafted free agent. I say if we see him as a late day 3 pick, that's going to be to a team like a running team, a very run focused team, like maybe the 49ers or the Ravens. Those are some teams that might want to take Nick Ford. What's up, DeReal KV? Thanks for tuning in, man. I'm glad to see you guys enjoying it. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the video. It means a lot, and it helps show other Utes fans the video. So real cool. And then with that, let's go ahead and move on to the next player. So far we've talked about Devin Lloyd, about Nick Ford, and we talked about Britton Covey. Here's a fun one. How about Cole Fotheringham? Am I the only one that when Cole Fotheringham declared, I was pretty shocked? I do, the real KV, I do see your question about Bam getting drafted. Why don't we address that now? We'll talk about Cole Fotheringham in a minute since you're the first one to ask a question. I might as well reward you. We'll skip ahead to Bam. So good question. All right. So he's talking about Bamadili Olasini. He played right tackle for the Utes this year. I think he might have played both sides of the ball, but he was kind of our tackle too. All right, let's see. Olasini. All right, so here he is. So Bamadili Olasini. So this guy is actually playing in the East-West Shrine Bowl right now. If you guys are familiar with the East-West Shrine Bowl, basically what that is, I'm sure a lot of you guys know what the Senior Bowl is. The East-West Shrine Bowl is basically like the Senior Bowl light. It's a little more intricate than that, right? But it's the Senior Bowl light. It's like the guys that didn't quite get the invite to the Senior Bowl are playing in the East-West Shrine. Still lots of really good players in the East-West Shrine Bowl, but you're not seeing as much elite talent as you might see in the Senior Bowl, right? So Bam has been looking really good, actually. I've actually seen, I don't know if you guys have been on Twitter, I've seen some pretty good highlights of him. So obviously there's a lot of factors that go into this, right? I've seen a lot of draft boards that have different guys all over the place. Bamadili Olasini, 77 overall offensive grade. Pass block was a 66.6, which is honestly not great. It's like okay to below average. So it's definitely less than what you'd like to see. I gotta be honest. So I saw some East-West Shrine Bowl. in the practice reps where he was looking real solid in pass blocking. He like took a guy to the edge and threw him into the dirt. So I think he looked really solid. And I think some teams, that's what they wanted to see from him, right? If you have a guy that struggles a lot in pass blocking, you're going to want to see him in these Shrine Bowl, Senior Bowl type of games. You're going to want to see him step that up. And his run block is actually really good, a common theme among the Utah Utes offensive line. So his run block grade is a 79.7. So that's a really good run blocking grade, guys. That's right up there. It's not quite elite, but it's really good, right? It's something very impressive for him to be putting up. So when we consider those factors that Bam's got, he looks like he's improved a little in the pass block from what we're seeing today. Obviously, we got to go through the whole week of the East-West Shrine to see exactly how much he's improved, but he's looking like he's improved. And his run block's already good, very similar to a Nick Ford, right? I see him going to a 49ers, or I see him going to the Ravens, something along those lines. Do I see him getting drafted? I actually really do. I think I think Bam Olasini has a much higher chance of getting drafted than a Nick Ford or some of the other guys. I think Bam is one of our better prospects in the draft. And if a team wants a run blocker, if they're a heavy run team, and they want a run blocker at right tackle, or maybe even if they're not the biggest run team in the world, but they just want a guy that can run on the right side, I think I wouldn't be shocked to see him go. I'd say, honestly, I think his ceiling is late day 3, basically, or day 2. His ceiling would be late day 2, which basically means like late 3rd round. But I think if he drops into like the 6th or 7th round, I mean, he's a really athletic specimen. Don't forget, guys, with Bam Olasini, he's 6'8", 330 pounds. People are going to see him as a project worth taking on, right? They're going to want to bring him in and see what he can bring to the program. So I hope that answers your questions. A little long-winded there, DeReal KB, but I hope that answered it for you. I do. You're welcome. I do hope that he gets drafted. I do see him getting drafted. I would expect somewhere in the 4th to 5th round. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw him there. And make sure all you guys that are here, please make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. It gets the videos to more people, and it means a lot to the channel. All right, now let's talk about the next Ute that has declared, Cole Fotheringham. So if you guys are anything like me, when you saw Cole Fotheringham announce he was going into the draft, you were a little concerned because you kind of figured, what's up, Miles? Go Utes, man. Yeah, definitely go Utes. So with that, I'm sure if you guys are like me, when you saw Cole Fotheringham declare for the draft, you became concerned because if you probably agree that he's really good, but he was probably the worst of the 3, in my opinion, tight ends, right? It probably for me it went it probably went for me it went Kincaid, Keithy, and Fotheringham. And it was more like this. It was like Kincaid was 1A, Keithy was 1B, and then Fotheringham was like 2 or 3. If you guys understand the metaphor there. It was, let me be clear though, Fotheringham brings a lot of NFL style tight end play, right? It's not just random that he is declaring. I'm sure somebody told him that he's got a really good shot at getting drafted and really filling a role on a team. So looking at Cole Fotheringham, he's the number 38 tight end in the country. He is actually the 3rd best tight end. We had a crazy good tight end room. And Manuel, I will answer your question here in a minute. I'm just going to finish up with Fotheringham, then I'll talk about some transfer portal guys. So with Fotheringham, I think he's going to translate really well to the NFL, right? So Fotheringham, 6'4", 243. I wouldn't be surprised to see him pack on a little more weight. So what Fotheringham brings to the table, so his run block grade is a 76.5, pass block grade a 76, and then receiving grade is a 60. You don't like to see that his receiving grade is a 60. But you do like to see that he has such a good, well-rounded blocking scheme, right? Like he can pass block, he can run block. Both are really good. That's something you definitely like to see in an NFL tight end. I think he's going to want to get more up to like a 250, 255 if he wants to roll as a run blocking tight end, which is probably what he's going to be. So I'd say with Fotheringham, I think it's going to be late day 3 to undrafted. It's a really good tight end class too. I was listening to a podcast the other day about the college tight ends coming out, and there's probably like 20 plus draftable tight ends, and that's tough for a guy that's on the low end of that. In my eyes, at least, in Fotheringham. Obviously, I wish the guy the best. I hope he gets drafted. But I think we're looking at late day 3, maybe it's 5th or later, probably more 6th or 7th. And if I'm betting money on it, I'm going to say that Fotheringham goes undrafted. Not to down the guy. I'm a big fan. I think I loved him on the Utes. I just think he would have benefited a lot from coming back another year, right? All right. And now, obviously, someone said that Fotheringham's like George Kittle. I don't know if I quite agree with that. Fotheringham is definitely a decent tight end, but I don't know if I'd say he's like George Kittle. Before I go to the next part, guys, I just want to say, those of you guys that are in here, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It really does mean a lot. It gets the video to more people, and it makes me want to do more of these live streams. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I'm enjoying this so far. I was worried I would have nobody in here. So thanks for tuning in, guys. And thanks for the like. I saw that. Thank you. All right, so let's go ahead. So are we, Manuel, are we expecting new recruits via the transfer portal? I saw some different things going on, right? I saw some people talking about how the Utes might be looking for more in the transfer portal. I wouldn't be shocked at all. I think the Utes are in, I wouldn't call it win now. Oh, a bunch more likes came in. Thanks a lot, guys. I think the Utes aren't in like win now, red alert. Red alert, like we need to win now. We're about to lose all our talent. But I think the Utes are like, damn, we actually have a really good team. We have a really good squad out here. And we could really do something with this, right? Cam Rising is looking fantastic. We got Tate coming back. We have our best offensive line coming back. Ricky, next point. Yep, we got Keithy and Kincaid coming back. 2 of the best tight ends in all of college football. I mean, we're talking about a really good team, and I would be more surprised rather than not if we didn't get a few more transfer portal pickups. One that a lot of people aren't talking about, that guy from Florida, the linebacker, Diabate or whatever his name is, the Florida linebacker. That guy is legit, dude. He's like a legit. He was a star at Florida. The program just went to crap, and we just happened to get him. Nobody's talking about him, but I wouldn't be surprised. That guy and Lander Barton are probably our starting linebackers next year. That's really exciting. That's a good duo. Really exciting stuff. All right. Let's see. Yep. Love the Utes. Love the Utes. Lecrae, Pleasant, Johnson. Let's take a look. So Lecrae, Pleasant, Johnson is going to be transferring, I guess, out of Utah. I was not aware of this. This is the first time I've been made aware of this. So let me take a look. Honestly, I feel like you guys probably know I'm pretty into Utah football. I've never heard of this guy. And I stay on top of things. So maybe I'm just not aware of him. Sorry, I wish I could give you more info on that. I don't want to pretend like I know who this guy is if I don't. And then which players are getting the red shirt. So if we want to look at which players are getting the red shirt, I would say it's probably going to be a conversation for another day. But I think definitely some quarterbacks, right? We have a lot of good quarterbacks coming in. We have a lot of good quarterbacks in the roster. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe even both of our young quarterbacks, Nate Johnson and Brandon Rose, were to get a red shirt. Paul, it's the linebacker from Florida that we've got transferring. I think his last name is Diabete. Go check out his highlight, man. Let me get you guys his name. If you guys don't know about this kid, he's going to be a beast. All right, so let me pull him up. All right, his name is Mohammed Diabate. That's Mohamouddiabate. The guy looks really good. He's like really a special player, and we just happened to get him because the Florida program spaced out. But the Florida program fell apart with the firing, and then all the players wanted a place to go. And why wouldn't you go to Utah? I mean, we look like we're one of the best teams in college football next year. Yeah, make sure you guys go watch his highlights. He looks like a real monster. Seriously, he looks like he's going to be something special for us, and I think you guys are going to like him. Hey, those of you guys that just hopped in, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the video. It means a lot. I hate that I got to keep saying that, but the more you guys like the video, the more Utes fans will see the video. So that's good stuff for all of us, right? Grow the channel. Let's see. Do you think Chris Curry will be a rotational running back this year? I was up and down on Curry all year, right? I thought he was unimpressive in the reps that he got in. I wouldn't say I'd be disappointed to see him do more, but I think you got to think about it like this, right? I think it'd be a real rotational quote unquote role. So if he is in the rotation, you got to think about it, man. We've got Tavion Thomas out there, who's, for my money, the best running back in college football. Straight up. Bijan Robinson, whoever it is, I think Tavion Thomas is the best running back in college football, guys. He is very special. And then the other guy we have coming in is Glover. I don't know if you guys have forgotten about him. If you guys don't know about Glover, I did a video breaking him down. Go check it out on the channel when we're done here. Jalen Glover out of Lakeland, Florida. He's a 4-star recruit committed to the Utah Utes. The kid is an animal. He's like a little bowling ball when you when you give him the ball. If you guys remember, Maurice Jones-Drew played for the Jaguars. Very similar, like a high school, college version of Maurice Jones-Drew. Very athletic, very explosive, very hard to bring to the ground. The guy's a beast. And yeah, steady progress for years. It is going to be, it is going to be tough to beat USC this year. I'm sure you guys, there's USC fans all over the damn country, right? I'm in Utah, but I know a few of my coworkers like USC a lot, and it's hard not to be a little jealous of what they got going. Obviously, we're still, in my eyes, we're on a better footing right now for the future. But damn, who knows what they could look like next year? You could be talking about a complete turnaround. So I don't want to talk too much about USC though, because screw them. Yeah, if they come into Rice Eccles, man, it's gonna be so dope. You guys know how it is. I think Rice Eccles this year became known as, just kind of stamped it, that we are one of the toughest places to play in the country. That video where you watch Britton Covey running back that punt return is insane. The camera's shaking from the vibrations in the stadium. Like Rice Eccles, you do not want to go into Rice Eccles and have to play the Utes. It's not something you want to do. All right, guys, I'm gonna keep answering questions, so feel free to keep shooting them out. But I do want to move on to the next Ute that is going pro. One guy that I think is actually pretty damn underrated when we're talking about the Utes going pro. Let's take a look. Boom. All right. Well, I actually was going to talk about something else, but let's talk about this guy first. So the guy I want to talk about is Nephi Sewell. So Nephi Sewell has been a linebacker for the Utes for a few years. I think he transferred, or not Nephi Sewell. I always call him that. I don't know. It's Nephi Sewell. There you go. Nephi Sewell out of Utah, 72 overall defensive grade. And then we have the grade breakdown. Nephi Sewell is a 71.8 against the run, 55.3 against the pass rush. So he's not a very good pass rusher, and 72.5 coverage grade. Those grades are not great. I'm going to be honest with you, but another guy where it's going to be a tale of two halves of the season. Nephi Sewell, if you buy into what he did earlier in the year, then you're going to be really in on him. The guy was a beast earlier in the year. He was lighting it up. He was making plays all over the field, and he had his struggles from time to time. But overall, he was still a really good run defender throughout the year. I'm surprised that run defense grade is so low. I think we're going to see Nephi Sewell go earlier than that grade says. One, he's got the NFL pedigree, right? Everyone knows who the Sewells are because of Penei Sewell. Then also his brother Noah Sewell has a ton of hype over there at Oregon. I think we're going to see him go about the 5th round, maybe the 4th. I don't think he's going to be a guy that goes undrafted. And just to pause, guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the video. It all means a lot, and I appreciate you guys watching. So Nephi Sewell, definitely a guy that we're going to see probably early day 3. So as we get into the 3rd day of the draft, I think you're going to really want to keep an eye on it and keep an eye on Nephi Sewell's name. That's probably when he'll go off the board. I think an underrated player. I don't think the grades really reflect how good he did. And I think you guys watching the Utes would probably agree with me, right? He was a pretty damn good player. All right. And then the next guy we're going to talk about is going to be TJ Pledger. We were just talking about the running back rotation. Like I said, we could see Chris Curdy go get a little more time this year, but I think it's going to be a lot of Jalen Glover and a lot of Tavion Thomas. I think that's going to be a deadly duo. And then we also picked up a lot of guys that were athletes. I don't know if you guys – I have a lot of recruiting videos on here where I take a look at a lot of the recruits we picked up. Just like a few athletes we picked up. Carson Tabaraki could go tight end, could even go running back. Tao Johnson who knows where he's going to play. I mean, a lot of these guys, we don't even know what position they're going to play. Maybe they'll get some rotation at running back. Who knows? I'm not saying that's most likely. Probably not, especially with Carson. I really like that kid at tight end. If you guys haven't watched that video, go watch Carson Tabaraki. Definitely a guy that is one of those like 3-star, but doesn't look like a 3-star. So now let's talk about TJ Pledger. So TJ Pledger was the second man in the rotation by the end of the year. At first, it was mainly Bernard getting a lot of the touches, and then it became a lot of Pledger, and then it became a ton of Thomas, and then it was kind of a three mixed bag. So Pledger is not a receiving back, but Pledger is a hell of a running back. So Pledger has a 78.0 grade, 5'9", 196 pounds, a decent frame, right? A guy that's not too small to take hits. But he is, the real KV says Carson is playing at linebacker via his Instagram bio. That's awesome. I'm sure he's going to do great at linebacker, but I wouldn't be surprised that even if it says that in his bio, that we try him around, right? It'd be stupid to just fit him into a hole right now that we're sorry guys fit him into a hole and not experiment with him. A guy that has all that versatility, why not try him out of different stuff? So TJ Pledger, an 87.9 run grade. That's elite. Just so you guys know, I'm sure a lot of you guys have been keeping up all season with me breaking down the grades, but I want to let you guys know that's elite running grade. So if a team, I see him, I think a lot of these Utes could wind up on similar teams, right? Like the 49ers or the Ravens that use a lot of running backs, a lot of run blocking offensive linemen. I really see him going to a team like that wants a straight running back because his receiving grade is terrible. It's a 40-something. So I think he's going to be a straight running back, hand him off the ball, hit the hole, try to make plays. TJ Pledger, it's tough. So let me be clear. TJ Pledger is a very good player and deserves to be drafted. I'm not going to be shocked at all if he's drafted. But if you guys do follow the draft, you know that running backs are a little different than most positions. Running backs are not like most positions where team, there's only so many spots to add running backs. It's like, you guys know how it works in the draft. A running back at the end of the first round is similar to like a quarterback going in the top 5. It's a good analogy, right? That's kind of how it works. So if you're a running back at the end of the first, it's like a quarterback in the top 5. So I'd say Pledger's probably going to go early to mid day 3. So I mean 5th or 6th round, because he is a really good player. It's just he's not like, if you guys weren't Utah fans, realistically, you probably wouldn't know who TJ Pledger is, if that makes any sense. He's a very good player, but he doesn't bring any star power. I think his ceiling would be like the 4th round. And I do think he will get drafted. It'll be a steal if someone gets TJ Pledger in like the 7th round. But 5th round for a running back is not an insult to TJ Pledger. 5th round for a running back is very good. So those of you guys that are in here, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It means a lot to the channel. It makes me want to keep doing these live videos. This is a lot more fun than I even thought it would be. So I'm glad to have all you guys here, and I'll answer some more questions. So Sewell and Pledger went pro because of the new prospects coming in. I think that's a fair question, but I don't think that's the reason. I think when how those guys are, neither one of them had a ton of star power. Sewell was kind of up and down. I think with Sewell, it could have been because Lander's really good. But I think with Pledger, it was more like, I showed what I can do. How many more opportunities am I going to get to have that type of season? If that makes sense, Paul. It's just how many, like, I would imagine TJ Pledger is going to be happy to go in the 5th or 6th round, right? To be a drafted running back. It's a big deal to be a running back that gets drafted. A lot of running backs go undrafted. And if you have the shot, why not take it? I mean, who knows? What if all these new running backs come in and Pledger gets buried in the depth chart? Kind of like you're saying. That's, maybe I do agree with you. Maybe not necessarily because the new prospects, but that's probably a factor, right? All right, do we have anyone else that is declaring? Let's look. Did I miss anybody? Oh, I missed the big one. Yep, you guys are right. Okay, Mika Tafua. So Mika Tafua is our edge. He's actually right up there as one of our highest graded players, according to PFF, that is going into the draft. Tafua is a really good player. Another guy that I was really critical of earlier in the year, he had some real problems. If you guys watched my season recap video, I talked about it. He had some real problems holding the edge. Still a good player, but he was more of a run stopper early on and had some problems with containing that edge. Over time, he really developed and became one of the best edge rushers around. He was the number 80 edge rusher, which is very, very good. He finished with an 81.5 grade. And that includes a 72.5 grade against the run. Where is he? Okay, yeah, 72.4 grade against the run, but an 88.6 pass rush grade. That's why you're going to think that Mika Tafua is going to go high. With that, guys, Mika Tafua, you guys know the NFL is a passing league, right? It's not like college football where the majority of teams run. You want pass rushers. You want guys that can throw the ball, and you want guys that can get open and catch the ball, right? And guys that can protect the quarterback against pass rushers. So I think Mika Tafua might be our highest drafted player outside of what's his name? Outside of Devin Lloyd. I really believe that. So my guess of Mika Tafua was such a good pass rush grade, I'm going to say he goes in the 3rd round. I think he's going to be a day 2 guy, later day 2. But I straight up, I know there's not a lot of talk of it now, but he's at the East-West Shrine game. And if he shows up there and he does a really good week of practice, I actually think Mika Tafua could go as early as the 2nd round, guys. I wouldn't be surprised to see his name become, in those conversations of middle to the end of the 2nd round. Mika Tafua is a really good edge rusher, and edge rushers are in demand. This is a really good edge rushing class too, but trust me, I think you're going to see edge rushers go off the board all damn day for the Utes, or for all the teams. So keep an eye on him. But anyways, guys, it's been a pleasure. Again, guys, make sure you guys like the video, comment, subscribe. If you guys want, I'll stay on for another minute or two. If you guys have any other questions you'd like me to answer, I would love to answer them for you. So I'll give you guys another minute here. But if you don't, I will get out of here. Guys, while I'm waiting to see if there is any other questions, I just want to let you guys know I really do appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys haven't already liked the video, make sure you do. It's been a pleasure getting to talk to all you guys kind of live. It's a little more personal this way. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks, Paul. I appreciate it. I'm guessing you liked it. Thanks, and I appreciate it. But it really is fun making these videos for you guys. If you guys do have friends that like the Utes, show them the videos. It's a lot of what I like to do. Bengals or Rams in the Super Bowl? That's a fair question. So I thought for sure the Chiefs would beat the Bengals. So maybe I shouldn't count out the Bengals again. I'm gonna roll the dice, guys. I'm gonna say Bengals. I think that defense is a top 5, top 3 defense. And I think that offense is a top 8, top 10 offense. Really good offense. And I think there's something about that combo that is just deadly. And teams struggle against it. Because if your offense isn't scoring almost every drive, the Bengals are going to score like every other drive. But let me be clear, even though my Jets beat basically nobody, we did beat the Bengals. And then the year before that, one of our 2 wins were the Rams. So, obviously not very proud of my Jets lately, but, is what it is. All right, guys. Well, that is it. I hope you guys all have a great night. Again, make sure you guys like the video and have a good one. I'll be making more for you soon, and we'll have lots of fun topics. Next time I'll probably set like a timer so you guys will know when I'll be on so we can have it a little more organized. Have a good one, guys. Bye.